Good evening, God's wonderful people. Welcome back. Today is the 18th of August 2020. I'd like to share with you from the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 17. It says, "And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown on her head instead of Vashti." Wow. So remember, we were talking about this competition, okay? King Ahasuerus was trying to choose a wife to replace his ex-wife, Vashti, who disobeyed his command and got dismissed, okay? So, now Esther, the cousin to Mordecai, who Mordecai adopted as his daughter after Esther's parents died. So she was part of this competition, and one thing we know about Esther is she was a very humble lady. Everyone loved her. She was very humble. She is the type that listens to words of advice from people who really care about her. So this Esther, when it was her turn to go into the king's, chambers, the Bible says that Esther obtained grace and favor in the sight of the king, and she won the competition. So my focus on this particular verse is on those two words, grace and favor. This is what we need, okay? It's not about your personality. I mean, it counts. Your personality counts. Your hard work counts. Your effort counts. If you're humble, that's wonderful. But remember, there are people that with all the goodies they possess, still they lose out. And then you see people who win the competition, and you look at them and be like, what is even so special about this person? I'm even better than them, and yet I wasn't picked, I wasn't selected, I'm not the one at the top. We need God's favor. We need God's grace. I mean, we could interpret this particular verse in different ways, but this is how it ministers to me. In addition to everything we possess, we need God's grace and God's favor. So, I mean, favor is a common word which we all use loosely, okay? So my understanding of favor is, like somebody considering, like maybe a higher power, somebody that has an upper hand over you, just, giving you a positive consideration for something that maybe you don't really qualify for, like just making life easy. Someone else is just trying to make life easier for you, not because of what they can get from you. That's my understanding. And even when we talk about grace, it's like it's not by your effort. Let's say, for example, Esther, right? She won this competition because the Bible says he loved her above all these women, and these women, they were all virgins. It's not because she was the most virtuous, like, okay, others are prostitutes and she's a virgin. She's, no. In addition to all that, she was the one who obtained what? Grace and favor. So when we have God's grace over our lives, things that are supposed to be difficult, okay, they are supposed to be difficult at baseline, like ordinarily they are supposed to be difficult, but because of that God's special favor, that's his special grace, we are able to overcome challenges. Where people struggle is like easy peasy for you. When people write exams and fail, you write the same exam and you pass. Where people tend to stumble, you tend to excel. That is grace and favor. So let us be mindful of this. It's not about breaking your head, sleepless nights, worrying. No. So what I have learned from this is that every day I have to appreciate God for grace and favor upon my life, because without it I can't function. And the same thing applies with each and every one of us. We all need God's grace and favor. All right. So That's what I have for you, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.